Hello everyone, once again to another Project Cars 2 online video. It's a competitive online racing, as per usual. We've got a double header this time. We've got a quick 7-lap race at Knockhill in Scotland, not the most exciting one. Then we'll move on to the main event, which is a Brands Hatch race in the touring car class. And, well, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did to participate in it. Let's go! So, starting here first with the Knockhill highlights. So, not much to show you. Qualified P1. We get a fairly quick start off the line, race down to T1. Luckily, because we're in first place, we're going to avoid any and all carnage that occurs here. But it seems the grid's got a fairly clean start. There's a car flying across the track there, knocking somebody off. But apart from that, and the odd car running wide, full credits for the grid here for getting these touring cars around a really narrow track at speed and keeping it clean. But from here on out, it's just a sprint race now for me to the finish. Getting P1, I've proven I can lap the fastest. Now I've just got to keep consistent, which is one of my strengths, and I should bring this race home, which is exactly what I do. And these touring cars are probably on the limit for what you can really drive reasonably around Knockhill. Coming to the last corner now to end this race. You'll just have to be aware of the jerky wheel inputs. It's not actually my steering, just the Project Cars replay glitch which I've noticed. But there we are, come across the line, P1. Very anticlimactic race despite it being a very good win. But next up we've got the main event at Brands Hatch. So for this race then, we're starting P1, yet again managed to get first in qualifying. Now off we go off the line there, managed to try and hook it round, but the car in second has managed to get in front of me as we race down the hill. Again keeping it fairly clean. Well, I say that, maybe I spoke too soon. And that was an absolutely horrifying crash there. But straight back to the race, I'm going to go up the inside of this black and green car. Not quite going to get the move stick, but we're going to race down now to this left-hand rear. And I'm going to leave the door completely wide open. This BM's going to accept that invitation nicely, give me a little bit of a shunt there. Not the friendliest of overtaking manoeuvre from this BM. And I'm going to return the favour on him shortly. We're going to race down the hill now, try and keep in his slipstream, but then BMs do tend to be quite quick in a straight line. So we're going to follow him in through this right-hander. I get a much better exit than he does. So now it's time for me to return the favour. I fly straight up his inside, but he seems to stay nice and wide, almost like he anticipated it, unless he just outbraked himself. So we didn't have to punt him off the road. But you know, get a little bit careless going up the hill there. I probably should have slowed down, but no effect on the guy in front of me. So we go round this left-hand rear. Now, as we come round onto the start-finish straight, we've got a 4-car battle that's about to commence. And somehow I'm going to come out on top of it. So we go wide round here, hook it to the inside, looking to get a good exit, which we do. Go round the outside of this green car, right onto the grass, and we go around the yellow car. The BM's right behind me as we get in the slipstream of this yellow car. We're going to dart between the two of them to get to the inside line, hard on the brakes. We managed to keep it towards the inside. The yellow car runs completely wide, and the BM and the green car behind him managed to keep it together, but I've managed to come out on top of that four-way battle and that moves us up to P3 in this race at Brands Hatch. So can we catch the cars that are further down the road? So we're going to cut ahead a little bit here now to the next lap as we're coming up to these guys in front of me. Now, one of these guys had a bit of a trip off the circuit through here, so I'm going to get a perfect run on him and absolutely sail past him. No difficulty whatsoever in that overtaking manoeuvre as we come down to this right-hander. So easy move there. Now all I've got to do now is chase the car that's in front of him and get myself into what is P1. But at this point here, as we're coming down the hill, if we're looking towards the skies, it's looking rather gloomy, and I can't lie, I was shitting myself at the prospect of rain because I've never done a wet lap around this circuit somehow. So I have no idea what the wet line's supposed to be. But as you'll see in a minute, it's not rain that fell. So there you go, not rain, but indeed fog that fell around Brands Hatch. Certainly made for some different racing, that's for sure, but it kind of makes the broadcast camera in the top right of your screen a bit redundant for most of the angles, but hey ho. But now on lap 4, we managed to get fairly close to this car in front, lapping way faster than he is, closed the gap by a good 1.5 seconds just on the last lap. We're going to go up to the last corner now to go down the start-finish straight. He's had a good line through there, so we're going to follow him, stamp on the throttle nice and early. Takes a little bit of a different line through that corner than I do. Now we come down to T1 now. He's got quite early on the brakes, I'm quite late going through there. That's like a really nice tight line, almost bottled it as we turn in, but he's bottled it too, so we're going to throw it straight up the inside going up the hill. And that is P1, once again, second race in a row, into the lead. Now hopefully we can make this stick towards the end now, because well, we know what I'm like for bottling races when I get into first place. So we're coming round now to finish lap number 5, start the final lap of this race. It's been a really controlled, professional drive from me. No real mishaps or anything, just taking it steady as we go along. So I'll let you just enjoy this car going round as we begin the last lap. So as we start to come around the last few corners now, it is looking like it's going to be P1. No need to do anything stupid on this last lap. I'm miles in front, no need to push it. It's been a really good drive for me and everybody else in this lobby. There was that massive shunt at the beginning, but as we come round the last corner, it's time to celebrate. We've got the win once again. Well done.
Make the ground shake.